He's had better outings, and I think it just today I think sped up on everybody a little bit, just with that with Omlin not being able to go last minute. That stung a little bit, but everyone was sped up, but we got to be better than that and overcome it. And just the command wasn't where it needed to be today. Breaking stuff couldn't land the breaking stuff consistently, and when you're one pitch guy, those things are going to happen. So he'll learn from it, he'll grow from it, and get better. But wasn't one of Halby's better outings today.
How's Hunter? Is he going to be back by for midweek?
We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball on that. Yeah. We'll see. You get tests done tomorrow. Hopefully, it's nothing more than we think it is. And but I don't have an answer yet.
What happened on that?
I guess they were during their catch play yesterday. He missed a cutter and it hit him in the foot, and so I don't. That's the extent of I got. I didn't know about that till after our press conference last night. So I assumed he was starting today, and I found out afterwards we still anticipated him starting this morning, and then he came here and was having a hard time walking. And how are you going to go out there and not be able to push off and do your job? So anyway, it was a bummer. We had things lined up well with him, and you don't like to shift gears on the fly, but like I said, sometimes that happens, and we have to be above it.
Do you think the slow start on the mound kind of took the wind out of sails in the bats, the way they had been hitting these last few games?
I'm not going to point fingers at that, but if you look at the starting pitching we've got in the last 5 or 6 games and how the offense has responded when we have good starting pitching, maybe there's a correlation. But we again, as an offensive player, you don't point fingers at the pitching staff, and as a pitching staff, you don't point fingers at the offense. So it's a team sport. But I do know that when you're firing on all cylinders, one seems to help the other. So
we talked yesterday about another game tomorrow. So how does dropping one game, how much more does one game matter now as the season gets down to a close and you're trying to make a playoff?
Well, everyone matters, of course, but we're doing our best to not overemphasize one game and just go out and play, and let the results fall where they may, but go out and play a certain way. And if you win, great. If you don't, hey, as long as you played the way you're supposed to play and play hard, then you can't control the results all the time. But we obviously understand where we're at and that every game is important.
Seemed like the guys had a pretty positive outlook even with the loss today on the weekend. Is that something you would agree with? 2 pretty substantial wins on Friday and Saturday.
I'm greedy. I wanted the sweep. There's history here. I'm not satisfied with 2 or 3. So I'm as a whole played great the last 2 days. We didn't play so good today. So at the end of the day, you try to live in the present, I guess, and not worry about yesterday so much. I knew that was going to be a challenge coming in today. We aren't up 17-2 to start this game. It's nothing, and we got to come and play well again today. And we just didn't play as well as we needed to.
You mentioned the history. We haven't really talked about it very much this year, about last year, the Pac-12. I know this is a team that you certainly have a lot of history with, the College World Series championship when you were a player. What are some of the things that you'll remember about ASU and USC? What makes it such a fun rivalry?
I think both programs really respect each other, but both programs really don't like each other at the same time. It makes it harder for me now because I really like Andy Stankiewicz and his staff. They're great people. But man, I love to hate USC. I do. It's in my bones and it's in my blood. That's how it'll always be. Those two make it tough to really, hate them as passionate as I used to, just because they're such a great staff, a bunch of good guys over there. So, but nonetheless, the rivalry will hopefully continue. We're trying to work things out to where we'll continue to play each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you like to see this continue, not any yearly thing, but, somewhat yearly thing?
I would like to make it a yearly thing. We're trying to do that. to get them and UCLA to remain on the schedule in some capacity, year in and year out. We'd like to try to do that. I think our fan base deserves that. I think said we got a lot of history, man. To let that just blow up in smoke, I'm going to not try to allow that to happen on my watch. I'd like to try to keep that rivalry going. If we got to go there or they got to come here, hey man, even if it's midweeks, let's keep it rolling somehow.
Are there any other schools in the Pac-12 that you'd like to see?
You know, I wouldn't mind continuing to play those, but you know, I grew up in the six-pack era, you know, where it was kind of fun to have the home and home against UCLA, Stanford, Cal, and U of A. So I mean that's those are kind of the priority teams that I would like to keep. Obviously, we'll continue with U of A, and but the other four, you know, we'll have to figure out ways to schedule them if we can.
4 errors today. What are your thoughts on what caused that? What do you attribute that to?
You know, going through each one, you know, if I can pick them all, you know, Ondina's one where he threw away. I mean, hey, he had to go for a double play there. I mean, we had a big situation, and he knew he had to be quick. He tried to turn it, you know, tried to speed things up and be very quick. And we had to try to get out of the inning right there, and he sailed it, you know, trying to be too quick. And to me, that error was okay, just because he was, you know, hey, he was trying to make a play right there, and we had to try to get out of that inning. But you know, that one cost us. Toby makes a diving catch, and again, trying to make a play. You know, it just sailed over Giblin's head there, and then the result after that was kind of disappointing. We had that kid dead to rights, rounding third base, and threw it away at the plate. That turned it into a little bit of fire drill right there. So that play was kind of ugly, but you know, it started off with Toby making a great effort, great play, and just didn't finish it. But the other, like, trying to think of the other error at third. I think at third, that play's just got to be made.
Have you ever witnessed a triple play before?
I've been around baseball a long time. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them, but you know.
Easier one than that?
No, that was you know, Carlone got off the mound, you know, surprisingly well on that play, and you know, looked like Willie Mays diving for that ball and made a great play on it. And yeah, then it was just a matter of don't throw it away, and you got a triple play. So, but it was, you know, I thought that had a chance to be a big momentum boost for us coming out of that. And I can't remember, was that the 5th or 6th inning, but one way or another, we didn't overly capitalize on it like we hopefully should have.
In addition to the errors, I believe it was 9 walks as well. Do you kind of feel like there was too much given up in a winnable game scenario?
Yeah, to me, that's, I guess at the end of the day, that's the disappointing part today. You have a chance for a sweep. You have a chance to go for the throat and finish the job, and we did not play great today. I mean, even if we played solid, I think it's there for the taking, really. But they just, you know, we can't walk 9 guys and kick the ball around and expect to win on a Sunday. Just, you have to throw strikes. You have to not give up free passes, and you know, that's the other team that's supposed to do that, not us. And today we didn't help ourselves. And like I said, I think today was after those 2 games, the last 2 days. I mean, that we've been on the flip side of that. It's tough to come back on Sunday and still believe in yourself when you've gotten browbeat and curb stomped 2 days in a row. And we had a chance to finish the job, and we didn't. And that was disappointing.
You mentioned last night in IAL, from what you've been able to learn about the space in recent years, pretty much since you've been hired, what is your vision for how, I know it's the heat of the season, but what's your vision for how the program can move forward when it comes to talent acquisition and talent retainment, especially as you adjust to new conference line?
You said NIL, correct? The bottom line is this: Kenny's done a great job, you know, trying to rally the valley and get people involved. And I mean, you're asking, I'm gonna tell you, I it's going to be awful hard for programs to be successful without it. And right now, we need help, you know, and that's just me being real, and that's not me crying. But if we don't get some NIL help, it's going to be awful tough to be successful in this landscape moving forward. It just is. It's where we're at in college sports, like it or not. And you know, a lot of people say, oh, I just don't think the players should be, you know, given money. It's okay. I appreciate your opinion, but how's that going to help us? Like, we can sit and cry about it and whine about it, or we can continue to not get the players that we need because other schools can and we can't. So we need help. We need people that can help, man. We need it. We need, looking right at you, telling you right now, laying myself on the cross, and we need help, man, in the NIL department. We need to you need some funds to be able to go get the players we need if we want to continue building this program the way we want. It's not just the standard recruiting that it used to be, where you go out and try to get the young players and get them here and hold them and develop them after 2 or 3 years. It's not that landscape, whether you wish it is or not. It's just not anymore. So we have to adapt and adjust, and you know, at the end of the day, if we don't get help, it makes the challenge of getting this program to where everybody wants it even more difficult than it already is.
What's the bottom line in trying to, I guess, generate buy-in on that front, to get those funds, to get boosters involved? You mentioned alumni last night as well.
You know, the challenge is just to see how much impact people or businesses can have on our program. You know, where we didn't necessarily need, we weren't allowed to rely on that in the past. That was illegal. It was frowned upon. You couldn't touch money from any boosters or whatever. Now it's a necessity, and that's you know, how drastically the landscape has changed in the last year and a half, 2 years. And so people that are on the sidelines and, you know, I don't want to say pointing fingers, but, you know, at the end of the day, if you want your local sports programs to be successful here at Arizona State, we need the help. It's not just baseball. I'll be the first one to take it because I know we need it, but you know, all of our sports need help. And at the end of the day, that's you know, you can point fingers of why you're not giving or now you're not helping, and look, I get it. People that can't do it, hey, I get it. But people that can, that care about the program and care about sports at ASU, we need to help. And that's so if you can, we need it, and we need to help this thing grow so we can continue to stay in the recruiting talks with these you know, top players that we need for this program to move forward the way we want it to.
New AD expected to be named hopefully within the next few weeks. Is that something you think should be the #1 priority if whoever gets the job?
I think that's going to be a big challenge. Yeah, and this landscape changes every day, right? And seems like every day since I've gotten the job, some sort of new curveball gets thrown my way to where, like, gosh dang, okay, just was starting to figure that piece out. Now I got to shift gears and go this way. But yeah, whoever the new AD is when they come in, that's going to be a huge challenge. And like it or not, we're going to, like I said, Arizona State athletics needs that help. If we, you know, this is a great school, great, you know, people are passionate about Arizona State, but fortunately or unfortunately, it's come down to this, that like, hey, if you want this programs to be successful at this school, we got to get help, and we got to get financial help. It just is what it is. And
obviously you took over 3 years ago and NIL wasn't as big. It was kind of just a concept at that point. When you project your roadmap at the beginning, how much of it has NIL been kind of a roadblock in the way you want to, and where you want to get to this program?
It's becoming greater and greater. You know, if I'm being perfectly transparent, it's like I said, I think it's going to be very difficult as the way things are going and what I know that other programs are able to do. It's going to be very difficult to continue to grow the way we want to and advance the way we want to. Can it be done? Yeah, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to utilize every possible source and get really lucky with the guys that we're recruiting, that if we do get them here, that we can keep them here. It's a challenge, So yeah, without it, we're going to be. It makes this task that much tougher.
How quickly do you think this can turn around if you get the money? Like, do you think that it will be an immediate change?
I would be confident in that. If we were able to land the guys that we've been after, that came right down between us and another school, that the only reason we lost them was that reason. If we were to get those players, we'd be in good shape right now. And that's no disrespect to anything else other than the fact that, hey, it's tough to land those good players without it. And, those program changing type players. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep scrapping and clawing and coaching these guys the best we can, and developing them the best we can. And we have some great players on this staff, on this team. And they're continuing to develop the way that we want them to. But at the end of the day, moving forward, in order to get those big-time high school kids, we're going to need a little bit of help.
I think that can also help with the guys that are deciding whether to come here or go professional. I know maybe not the perfect example, but Matt Wilkinson decided to go professional instead of coming here. Do you think if you have NIL resources, that maybe entices some other guys like him that say, hey, maybe I'll just do another year in college instead of going pro right away?
Well, that was the name I was actually just thinking of when you said that. And Tug is a kid that we had committed to come here, and I'm not sure if you guys are following what he's doing in the professional baseball right now, but he's just absolutely dominating. But that's the type of kid that, hey, he got. I won't share the amount he got, but it was for what the type of talent he is. It was very, he should have gotten a lot more than that. But had we, hey man, there's other schools that are matching that and then some to say, hey, forego the draft, come here, we'll pay you more. If we could have done that, and that kid's on Friday night for us, we're sitting pretty right now, right? But that's just an example of what you can do if you have those funds to do that. And there's, not going to give any other programs props, but there's plenty of other ones out there that have those kind of pockets that, if we can get there, hey, we'll continue to, it'll help us give us the opportunity to be successful further.
Excellent.